3, 2.
I got everybody pregnant with Barry Katz and semen.
I'm not comfortable with the tone this is taking.
If you're undeniable, you will not be denied.
If you want to be successful in showbiz and you get yourself a Jew white manager like Barry Katz.
Being a manager is just turning no's into yeses.
Creating holy shit moments.
Undeniable.
You're fucking firing me up, Katz.
I love this man.
Is there anything else I should know?
You're on. What? Out on the air!
Barry Katz, back in the house.
Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been doing this too long. I've been in this business as long as I can remember, and very rarely do I get to sit down with somebody who I've known since they were sperm. And I'm very grateful for this moment because this is somebody who's a big part of my history. I've known her since she was probably a teenager, and seen her become one of the most respected and most honored people in the entertainment business. Please welcome my guest today. I can't even tell you how incredibly grateful I am. Tiffany Haddish.
You know me since I was a sperm. Oh, I miss those days.
You do?
Yes. Running around blindly as quickly as possible, searching for the egg.
They say that anyone who tells you that money makes you happy never had any to begin with. Is that true?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's a lie. And they didn't have no money. They don't know how difficult money is. Money, you got to be, money's like a beautiful woman. You got to treat it right and let her go. She'll always come back.
Well, I'm looking to treat you right today.
You better.
I will. I'm so fascinated by so many things, and I when I watch you, when I watch things that happen, it's very emotional when you're across from somebody or hang with somebody who's doing sets in discos on Ventura Boulevard, and you're like,
bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, baby showers. I did it all, man.
I know. And so when you were starting as a teenager at the Laugh Factory comedy camp,
mm-hmm.
Did you ever go back to your room and you know how certain kids, they sing with the hairbrush? Did you ever think to yourself, this is a vision I have of what I'm going to be doing in my lifetime, and it happened? Or like, how did let's say your first time on stage at the Laugh Factory, you go home, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, man, that was fun. I wonder if I could really make a living at this. I'm like standing in the mirror like, could I be Whoopi Goldberg? Oh, I don't want the dreadlocks, but I'll get braids. Could I be, like, just thinking of all the people I thought maybe I could possibly be, and how much fun it was, and how I felt like I had a voice, and I felt like, oh, I'm safe. It was like, it was safety for me. And so it was kind of hard to get me off the stage, because I'm like, oh, all day I've been feeling all this fear. All day, like, especially as a teenager, and as a little girl, like, always scared. Always, like, fear was right there in front of me, and I had to figure out how to climb over it or climb through it or duck it, dodge it. And it was always right there. But when I would go on stage, it was like fear wasn't allowed on stage. So fear couldn't be there. It couldn't stop me. So for me, it was everything.
Well, a lot of people don't really take the time through their own lens, to look at the most important things in your life. But when it comes down to the most important things in your life, at the very top of the umbrella is control, and that underneath that as a subheading is safety.
Mm.
And so when you're born, not to get boring here, but when you're born, you're slapped on the ass and you have the least control of your life. And all through your life, you're working to get full control over your life. Full control. And then when you finally get it, you find that there's forces all over the place, all over the world, unknown forces, known forces that are still trying to take the control away from you. So if you can find something, a person, a job, a lifestyle that makes you feel safe and you have as much control as possible, you're going to have the kind of look that you have on your face right now.
Yes. And that's comedy for me. That's stand-up. Just straight up stand-up. Like, everything else is like giving up some control. Like, movies is giving up some control. Doing plays is giving up control. Doing a commercial, doing a TV show. Like, you're giving it up. You're working with others, and you're hoping we all can work together and that they all keep me safe, right? That's not always going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, it's up to somebody who you never see, which is like back feeling like you're right back in foster care. For me, anyways. I grew up in a foster care system. I didn't have a lot of control. And you're right. That is, I was just with a Sangoma in Africa.
Wow.
And they were telling me how I have to be okay with not having any control.
Well, that's the philosophy. Again, it's exhibited in many different cultures and also in things like Kabbalah. But it's the other philosophy: let go of your ego, let go of control, and the world has a plan and it will take care of you. But that's not always the case in this. I remember I had a guy who I worked with at my company, and he always used to walk into my office every week on Monday or most Mondays because he knew what the week ahead was going to be like. And he'd look at me and he'd say, "Decent people shouldn't live here." You know that Batman quote about Gotham? Mm-hmm. And so we in Africa, obviously, you can share that and you're there and you're amongst safety, but then you come back into the Shark Tank.
Yeah. But also, am I amongst safety? Because what they say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And what is everyone's intention, right? And so that was constantly my thinking process. Like, what is their intention for trying to be where I'm at? What is their intention for coming over here? What is my intention for going over there? Like, if I understand people's intention, and I can't control their actions. I can control only my actions. But if I understand their intentions, I can protect a little better and maybe help them.
It's interesting you said that. You're getting me thinking because, like, I sit here and I do these podcasts, and a lot of people come up to me, just like I'm sure they come up to you with certain things that you do, and they say, "Barry, what the f*** are you doing? I mean, you don't get money from it. What are you doing?" I'm like, I want to get inside an Airbnb people's minds so young comedians and young comedy artists cannot make the same mistakes.
Yes.
And can see how you can come from anything. And that's always been my pure intention. I'm not like nothing else. And hopefully it's accomplished that along the way. And I know this will be one of the most inspirational and impactful things that any young comedy artist or old comedy artist or anybody. And I find it fascinating because even when I've interviewed people who, let's say, aren't an artist, like, let's say, Ted Sarandos, who's for those of you who don't know, who's the president of Netflix. He was like, only did 2 podcasts, and I was grateful that he chose mine. But when I see him, he always says the same thing. Barry, it's incredible how people just come up to me and they say, "Oh, I listened to that story and it helped me do this," or "When I came in to interview with you, I wanted to know everything about you," or "When I went to do my project, I didn't want to make that mistake. I did it this way." So I'm very grateful that you're here. And so tell me about Africa, because you just got back, you just flew back, and I wasn't planning on talking about Africa, but to me, like, I've never had anybody just fly back in from there, and I don't know the exact area, and I don't think anybody watching knows exactly where you were. So explain what you were there for. What was your intention for going? What you think their intention was for having you, and then coming back, how you came back. Like, I haven't seen you for a while, but I will say this, that I'm going to ramble slightly because it's funny, but I'm not going to mention any names. So I got Tiffany to do a podcast somewhere that shall remain nameless. And it was in the 818 area code. And the guy who was running the studio was so proud because it was a black-owned studio, the only one apparently. And he took so much pride in everything. But, you know, I think he tried a little too hard. So Tiffany walks in, she hugs Bill Bellamy, she hugs me, and then the guy just came up and he had that energy that, you know, Tiffany knows every energy. She can feel every energy. And even outside today, which you guys can't see or whatever, one of my interns was here, and I know that sometimes he's wondering, like, do I walk in the room? Can I do it? Whatever. And she walks right up to him and she gave him like the greatest shot in the arm that any young person could ever have. And it was like literally like I could see it, the energy come into him. But this guy was trying too hard, and she just, you know, you can't fake it. And it's like after the thing was over, he comes up to me and he closes the door and he's like, man, she really hated me. I said, no, she didn't hate you. She just can tell the genuine energy from an energy that's trying too hard.
Yeah, doing too much. What's really your intention?
Yeah.
Like, he was doing a lot. But it's true. I can't tell. But I went to Africa. I went to 3 different countries in Africa. Initially, my intention was, I want to go to Africa. I want to learn all that I can and figure out where I can get some diplomatic immunity. I want to be able to be like an ambassador for some country in Africa. Build a bridge, if you will, between African Americans in the country of, put it in there somewhere on the continent of Africa, and, you know, be a representative, be a conduit for learning, for travel, for business, for economical growth, for generational wealth, for, you know, however to enhance other people. That was my intention. So I went to South Africa. I went to Cape Town in South Africa. I went to Zimbabwe, and I went to Zanzibar. And I wanted to learn as much as I could. And I'd already been for years, because, you know, my father's from Eritrea. I go there all the time, and I've learned a lot from there. But what I realized is every country is different. Every single place does things differently, and different, you know, colonial beings have taken over in different places. So some places speak French, some places speak Portuguese, some places speak just English, but they have their native language too. Some places speak Spanish. It's interesting, okay? So I picked the countries that have gotten their independence. Which ones have gotten their independence? Because they probably need somebody like me. They probably need somebody like me to tell, especially African Americans, hey guys, it's not as scary as they've painted it for us our whole lives. Like growing up, I remember hearing all the time, you better eat all your food because there's people in Africa starving. There's kids that look just like you that are starving. So eat all your food. That's not the case. Everybody's not starving. There's people in America starving too, right? And I'm also in the process here in America, in Los Angeles, California, opening a grocery store. I used to play grocery store all the time when I was a kid. One of my dreams is to own one and to have a lot of the products come from that continent and from other places in the diaspora, an African diaspora, but also in any minority group that's here in America, the diaspora of that group. And I want to call it Diaspora Groceries, right? The DG. So in order to do that, though, I want to make sure that I'm reaching out to the right people. I understand that, you know, it's all kind of peoples that own farms. It's all kind of people that own, you know, manufacturing companies for products that you use for cooking and feeding your family. But I want to first learn, right? Learn about who's doing what. So I go to these countries that have their independence. Some of them are sanctioned and not allowed to do export to America at all, or any, you know, some European-based companies or whatever, or countries. But I still want to learn. I want to see, how do they live? How do they get down? How do they handle their laws? How do they handle whatever? And when I was in Cape Town, I felt like I was in Woodland Hills. I stayed in a very lovely home. I like basically Airbnb'd everywhere. Stayed in a very lovely home. Went and met some of their, like, I watch a lot of South African movies and TV shows and stuff. So I was excited about, like, maybe I'll meet some of the actors. And so I met some of those actors. I did some crazy stuff. I went to a nightclub. I went to some farms. I made some connections. Then I went to Zimbabwe, and I went to Victoria Falls, and the seventh wonder of the world, one of the seven wonders of the world, is there, the Victoria Falls, and happened to get there when there was a full moon. And on the full moon, the night before, the night of, and the night after, there is a lunar rainbow that happens in the falls. So I got to see this rainbow. And everywhere I went, I felt like God be showing out, baby. God can't nobody can outshine God. No human being can out-art what God has arted, okay? And that was the most beautiful thing. I was just standing there like crying and just like, why am I just learning about this? Why have I not known about this my whole life? Why hasn't this been somewhere that I was like, oh, I want to aspire to go there one day? Like, you know, you aspire to go see these other things, all of the pyramids, this thing and that thing. Nobody's talking about the falls. And then when I'm talking to my white friends on the phone, talking to them, and they're like, oh, yeah, we saw that. Oh, I know all about that. How do you know about that and I don't know about that? We went to the same school. Who taught you? Oh, my mom told me about it. My grandmother told me about it. My such and such. And I'm like, why isn't my mom and my grandma, why didn't they tell me about this? Because they didn't know either. They didn't know. That wasn't what was marketed to them. That wasn't what was shown to them. What was shown to them was a bunch of starving babies with flies all over them, right? And that was not the case. There was elephants walking through the city, just walking around, not tearing up nothing, just moseying along, and everybody the traffic there in Victoria Falls is because an elephant has decided to cross the road, and everybody just has to wait. You just have to chill and wait till the elephant goes by with their kids and all that stuff, and it's just like no beef. There's now the elephant. Somebody was telling me that the elephant's been known to kill 3 people, most of them intoxicated. I was like, well, I'm glad I'm not drinking no alcohol no more, because elephants don't forget. And there was like this one guy who was like trying to take pictures with the elephant, and he was drunk, and the elephant had like hit him and like kicked him across or whatever, and he didn't die, but they was like, yeah, he was drunk, so he is good. But that elephant came back looking for his ass like a year later, found him, and smashed his ass. And I said, see, seems like it'd be nice to be an elephant. Smash your enemies.
Well, I mean, that's something that I wanted to talk to you about a lot today, but I wasn't sure how to get into it where it could be positive, and I think I know a way in. Mm-hmm. So in our lives, we always have the people who are for us and the people who are against us. And sometimes we don't find out the people who are against us for a long time, and then we feel like they're in our corner for so long, and then they just break our legs. So for all the artists out there, how do you handle when somebody does you dirty, does you wrong, and do you handle it now with love? Did you not handle it with love before? Like, how do you do it? Because you don't seem right now to be a revenge motivated person, even though you made the elephant joke.
When I was a kid, when I was younger, I was a revenge-oriented person. I mean, I shit in a man's shoes who shit on my soul. So I shit in the soles of his shoes. I mean, I have done some dumb stuff. In my 20s, I would say, I was more like revenge-oriented. And my grandma used to tell me, like, revenge is not for you to get. You got to let God handle that. Let your revenge be your success. Let your revenge be you never talking to that person again, never giving them any energy. Just move forward, which is really hard to do when somebody like tries to destroy you. It's very hard. And when I was younger, I would call my goons and let them handle it. Let somebody else deal with it. I'm older now, and like you said, you spend your whole life trying to find that control and that safety, right? And now that I'm older, I would say, especially in the last 4 years, I've learned it's okay not to, like, I'm just not going to have the control. And if somebody asks me, I'm going to tell them the truth. And I'm going to just let God handle it. I pray for them. 9 times out of 10, they're trying to destroy me or hurt me in some kind of way because they wish they could be where I'm at. They want to be me. They actually, the fact that they've even invested the kind of time they invest to try to hurt me says a lot about how much they actually love me. I'm on your mind that much. You want to make videos or songs or try to defame me in some kind of way, lie about me, write about me, whatever. I am so in your spirit, living rent-free and not even thinking or talking about you, that you are actually making me more powerful. Because the more you talk about me, the more the algorithm is going up.
That's playing out in the election right now.
Baby, if I don't say shit about you, I'm not talking about you at all. I'm just staying focused on what my mission is. And you could throw rocks and darts. And I think of myself now, like, especially after going to Africa and everything, I'm like, oh, this is Gulliver's Travel. This is Gulliver's Travel. My grandma used to make us watch this thing every week, Gulliver's Travel. I never understood why she wanted us to watch that dang cartoon
She
so
never
much.
told you the message?
No, and I didn't understand it. But, and you know what? I had gotten a big argument with Dave Chapelle, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, beginning of the pandemic. Got in a big argument with him, and he was like, "You're a giant, Tiffany. You're a giant. Act like one. Act like a giant, because you're a giant." I did not understand what that meant. I did not know what that meant. Now I know what he means by that. Now I understand. You're a giant, move like one. People are afraid of giants. People want to control giants. They want to use them, they want to weaponize them, they want to use them for their good. Build my buildings for me, do my this for me. If you don't do these things for them, then they're going to try to bring you down. They're going to try to tie you up. They're going to try to bring you down. And you can let them bring you down, or you can keep on walking because you're a fucking giant. They can't hurt you. They really can't. It's like a flea. Ouch.
So when did you call Dave or see him again and say, "I'm sorry, I know what you mean now"?
I tried to call him yesterday when I landed. He didn't answer the phone. But I'm sure he'll call me back at some point. He might have called me back today and I just didn't see it yet. But I'm sure he'll call me back. And I have to apologize. I understand what you mean now, bro. I am so sorry that I was so dumb, so small-minded.
I don't think if I could go toe-to-toe with Dave in one way and your intention wasn't not to say you didn't want to be a giant. You wanted to be a giant for everybody, but you wanted to do it with humility.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably what you were trying to put across, not that you didn't want to embrace being a giant.
Yeah. I want to do it. I want to be nice, a nice giant. I don't want to eat people. I don't want to destroy towns. I don't want to destroy anything. If I can walk around it, tiptoe, move, and like I don't need to go, 5, 4, 1, it's me, Tiffany Haddish, give me stuff. Like I don't need to be doing all of that. It's like, it's a way to do it, I think, with grace and to bring joy and not bring like stress and chaos. destruction.
Now, take me sort of 24 hours before, or however long, before Revenge Tiffany made the transformation to All Love Tiffany, and what happened in your soul and your mind and your aura to make you change the pattern.
Okay, so Revenge Tiffany is still in there, and she is always talking shit. Okay, Revenge Tiffany is always trying to figure out how. Come on, we need to. And I'm like, no, watch this. Like it's like literally me arguing with me and being like, check this out though. Look how much easier this is. Look how. Okay, so this is messed up. We lost this gig. We lost that gig. But now we can focus on the garden. Now we can focus on the grocery store. Now we can do this. Like, okay, they're talking mess over there. Let them talk. Let them talk. They'll meet you one day and they'll see the truth. Like, the truth will show itself. Like, don't stress. But the transition is a constant thing, I think. And I would say, once I got divorced, no, I was still on revenge mode, but I didn't act on it because I realized it took a lot of energy.
I remember being around you in the beginning when you were married, and I always felt that I normally feel like I have a lot of tools in my emotional toolbox. Mm-hmm. And when I would sit with you and I would meet with you, I don't think I had the tools to share with you what I saw, how I saw your personality when he was around and your personality when he wasn't around. And I didn't really know how to go there because I didn't really think it was my business. But it was very, very difficult to see. And I really... all I could do was just hug you and just tell you that, I believe in you and I think that you're fantastic. And
that's what I needed. That's what I needed to hear somebody say they believed in me, that I was on the right track, that you're doing good. Because I wasn't getting that from him, really. It was a control thing, another control thing, which I was like wanting someone to take control because I was confused a lot of the times. Because I didn't understand, I didn't have understanding. But then at the same time, it's like giving up control was also sacrificing me. It was dimming my light. I had to make me smaller. I had to be smaller, it's really hard. It's like, I got a big foot. I wear a size 10. Why am I putting on this size 7 shoe? Yeah. It doesn't fit and it hurts all the time till I take the shoe off. And then it still hurts after I take the shoe off for like 2 or 3 hours. It might even hurt for the next 2-3 days. And then I'm like, but now I have this bunion because I've hurt myself. I put myself in a situation.
Hey everybody, it's Barry Katz, and I wanted to talk to you about Blueprint for Success. This is a community that I put together during the pandemic to help all artists of every walk of life in the entertainment business. No matter where you are in that part of this journey, it's designed to help you. There are podcasts with people that will inspire you, like Kevin Hart, Judd Apatow, Bill Burr, that you can't find anywhere else but on this program that I've interviewed, to times where we get to talk to executives in the business that you would never have access to tell you what you need to hear and to answer your questions, to all sorts of different videos and master classes designed to help you get to the promised land. That's what the Blueprint for Success is. Doesn't matter whether you want to be a stand-up comedian, a sketch performer, a podcaster, an actor, an actress, director, writer, social media person, whatever you want to be. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've had the honor and been humbled to represent people like Chapelle, Wanda Sykes, Louis C.K., Dane Cook, and probably over 20 other people who went from a studio apartment to being a multi-millionaire and a household name. And I want that for you. And I wanted to take the time with this program to be able to help you on your way there, to get there and to heighten and increase the trajectory of your career. Blueprint for Success is the way to go. I'm proud to be a part of this program, and I'd be proud to have you to be a part of it too.
And I was smaller. I was all these things that was not comfortable. Once I noticed, I started noticing the difference because my close friends, my best friends were telling me, girl, who are you when he's around? Because it's not you. And you don't seem happy and you don't seem like you. And I was experiencing that, but I didn't think anybody could see. And I was just like, oh, it's because I've never lived with a man before. This is my first time living with a man. I have to make adjustments. That's all.
And I think this is really important, and I want to just share this. You, as well as myself and many people in our lives, we've met women and men who are under the control of a significant other. And one of the things that's rarely, if ever, talked about, which I wanted to talk to you about today, and I was hoping that you would go there because I wasn't going to ask you about anything that all the other people ask you about because you've been through it so many times. But this helps me get into it. Tell the people out there, what are the steps that you take when you're in a relationship, you're completely being controlled? How do you incrementally extricate yourself from that situation cleanly, effectively, and to where you can have the kind of productive life that you have now?
You got to love yourself. When you let someone take like all that, like is running everything, like your whole everything, and not necessarily in a helpful way, there's like, I feel like I did not love myself, and I had to start learning to love myself, and not like being a lover of self, but like, hey, honoring my feelings. If I feel uncomfortable with something, if I don't like something, I need to say it, and I don't have to scream it. I could just say, hey, I don't like this, or this is not right, or the way you talk to me makes me feel like shit, and I don't want to feel like shit, so I'm going to stop talking to you for a little bit. Like, and I would just be quiet. Yeah, that didn't fly too well with him, but it felt good for me. And
because you being quiet, you took control.
Because I have control in that, right? It's like, take control of the things that you can, right? So I did, and the behavior would get, his behavior got a little wild, and then I would get a little wild. I would like turn up, responding to his energy, and then having to learn, okay, I can't respond to everything he say. I can't fight this man. I was trying to fight the man. I can't fight him. Physically, I can't do it. He's way bigger than me. I can't do it. So I have to just either get him to leave me, or I got to leave him. And
did you strategize alone, or did you seek help?
I was going to therapy, and the therapist told me that I was suffering from battered wife syndrome, and suggested I talk to a psychologist. Right, those are the ones that prescribe medications. Take these meds. Maybe that make you feel better. That shut down everything. My creativity kind of shut down. And I do have ADHD. And that helps me to create. It helps me to do what I do, right? The ADHD. And a lot of people have it that are creatives. But it shut everything down. And that right there was the nail in the coffin for me. When I couldn't feel nothing, and I couldn't create anything. And when I was on stage, I felt just as, like, I didn't feel nothing. I was like, I can't take these medications, and I can't be in this relationship. Because if being in this relationship leads me to having to take these medications, the root problem, I need to focus on me. I need not focus on this man. I need not have to take, if you have to take drugs to be in a relationship, I don't think you should be in it. I don't think you should be in it at all. It's like, that's getting far away from your natural state.
And so tell us what you can tell us about the 24 hours before you're in and then you're out.
So the 24 hours when I'm in, I'm like, okay, there has to be some other way. Can't take these drugs. You're just going to have to tell them, like, either we have to figure out somewhere in the middle to meet or this is over. And pretty much by the time he came home, I was like, no, this is over. It's over. Like, I'd rather live back in my car. Because I was happier. Because I was me. I wasn't playing a role. And I felt like in that relationship, I was playing a role. And I would be happier.
And safer living out of your car.
Yeah. Safer all the way around. And I'd be protecting the little girl in me. And the revenge monster was very active. Oh, she wanted to do all kinds of things. She was talking all this. And I was like, nope.
But he let you go. Why did he let you go? He didn't let you go before. Why did he let you go? What did you do to... Because there's people out there that don't know what to do and how to get out, and he did something.
Well, I just told him the truth. I told him the truth. When you touch me, I feel like I'm being molested. I feel like I'm back in foster care. I feel unsafe. I'm like, my skin crawls when I see you because I want to fight you. I shouldn't want that. And while I say I love you, I don't know if that's true. I feel like that's not true. I love the idea of what it could be, but it's not that. And as much as I love fantasy and storytelling, I can't live in this fakeness. I just can't do it.
The truth
will set you free. It always will. It always will set you free.
Amazing.
1,
2,
3,
4, 5, 6.
6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees of separation. I'm going to mention some things and some names. I just want you to just say what comes to mind. It could be a little story, could be a little sentence, a phrase, a word, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Kevin Hart.
Big little brother. That's my big little bro.
Jordan Peele and Keegan.
Fun as hell and informative. Every time I'm around them, I learn something new.
Oprah Winfrey.
Auntie O. I really want her to be my auntie. I don't talk to her enough. I wish I talked to her more.
Tracy Morgan.
Reminds me that's the male version of my mama.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Richard Pryor.
The greatest of all time, the GOAT, taught me that, being on stage is about having fun because people come to have fun. So if it's not fun for you, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Saturday Night Live.
Accomplished. Would not mind doing it again now that I have a better understanding of how the machine works.
Whoopi Goldberg.
That's my real mama. I think she my real mama, and I happen to have to give me up for adoption, but it's cool. I'm not mad, even though I know I wasn't adopted. But I would like to think that was the case. She's the best. I want to be like her in so many ways, and I love talking to her. She's the best. The best.
Dane Cook.
Oh, man. That's my big brother, too. When we got the love. It's all love now. It used to be some love-hate. It was like some confusion. Yeah, that's my big bro.
Jamie Masada and the Laugh Factory Comedy Camp.
Jamie Masada is my dad. That is my father. I don't care what nobody says. He's the same height as my biological father, and they speak about the same amount of languages. So I think he's my dad. And the Laugh Factory is my home. That's my home. Yeah, I grew up in South Central LA and all over, Los Angeles, but that is my home.
Gerard Carmichael.
My little big brother. This is my little big brother. He's younger than me, taller than me, but he's like, I think he's a genius.
Bill Bellamy.
He gave me my first opportunity to be on TV doing my stand-up. I always been encouraging.
Was that You've Got Jokes?
Yeah, Who Got Jokes?
Who Got Jokes?
Yeah, Who Got Jokes was the first time.
Was that the set where you, okay, please help me. There's one set you did that I remember watching and I thought, this is like No Fear. This is like the little girl and the woman came together. The shoe routine where you were walking
walking on the side of the shoes.
What was that, the first one?
That was on Who Got Jokes.
Oh.
That was on Who Got Jokes. Yeah, walking on the
Jesus,
side of the shoes.
that was incredible.
And I still can do that, which I'm very proud of. No sprain or broken ankles. But yeah, he's great mentor. I used to get mad at him though, because I'd be like, can I open up for you? And be like, no, you can't open up for me. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And now I'm like glad. There's so many comics would not let me open up for them, and they would give me like some of the lamest excuses. But now I'm glad. Like, I didn't understand then, but now I do.
Primetime Emmy Award winner.
Me?
For a show and a thing you told me that you weren't really even, you felt like maybe I left some on the table there. You kind of were like, even though it was the greatest thrill, you said, I felt like I just didn't do what I could do as much as I wanted to.
Right, because it's a machine. And I didn't understand how it worked, right? And
control.
Yeah, the control thing, which I had to learn. Like, you don't have to have the control, Tiffany. Let it go. But I had all these ideas because for so many years I wanted to be on there. I wanted to work on the show. I wanted to be a cast member, be all these different characters, and you can't squeeze all that into one episode. But also, it's like, hey, this thing works like this, and I'm like, I used to be so like, oh, I need to be on this show, and I'm so like, oh no, now after doing it, God didn't let me be on that show for a reason, and thank you, Lauren Michaels, for not hiring me as a cast member and letting me come on as a host, because I probably would not have an Emmy if I was a cast member, and I probably would throw temper tantrums and be an asshole if I worked there on a regular basis, because I'm not emotionally set up for that. But I can pop in and pop out. I know I can do that.
Girls Trip.
Best thing, some of the best relationships in this business that I've developed from that movie. Best experience. It also allowed me to realize, they say like, oh, women don't get along. That's not true. We do get along. It's as long as we don't have like men interfering and trying to put bullshit in our ears, And what I loved about working with those women is that we all talk to each other and let each other know what's up. And I'm like, hey guys, I wrote this thing. I think we should try this. And they're like, you do it. Just go for it.
Well, that's
encouraging.
The thing. That's the thing. When I saw the movie, I was thinking to myself, every take, she's giving them something different, maybe even 3, 4, 5 different takes. And she doesn't have the control, but she's like, I'm going to give them so many pieces of gold that they can't deny it. And so when you're on the set, at what day did you realize, I'm fucking killing it here?
Once I saw the movie.
So it was only when you saw the movie?
When I saw the movie. The girls were laughing, the crew was laughing, which that's all I want to hear. And at the end of the day is everybody laughing, having a good time anyway. So I was just having fun. I didn't know the movie was going to be that good, though. I didn't know it was going to turn out like that. And I was giving the editor shout-outs every single day. I would sing songs to the editors, tell them happy birthday, because I worked in the edit bay before, and I know what it's like sitting in there staring at this actor's face, pauses, and you're in a dark space by yourself, and it sucks, and nobody ever shouts you out. And at the end of the day, you're the one making the whole damn movie. They got to pick the best shots, the best scenes, the best takes, the best everything. So, yeah.
Relationships, everybody.
It is our relationships.
When you're on a set, and Tiffany, I'm sure, knows this, one of the greatest advice you can ever give anybody. When you're on a set, you treat the person who brings you the coffee the same way you treat the director and the head of the studio. Everybody is a part of the machine, and the people who don't treat them that way are the ones that the world doesn't take care of.
Exactly. And so if you're going to on everybody, on one person, you better on everybody. If you're going to be nice to one person, be nice to everybody. I treat everybody the same.
When I'm producing a movie, I just did a movie, and the first day I'm like bringing coffee to like the stars and the director and whatever. They're like, Barry, what are you doing? I'm like, listen, I'm doing my part. Like, but there's somebody who's, a PA who's supposed to get the coffee. I said, well, I'm giving them a day off.
Yeah.
Because I just want to show that I don't care. I just want to treat everybody the same way. And
like I always say, I don't have nobody do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. So if you're like, go get the coffee, would you be willing? I would be willing to go get the coffee. So you need to go get the coffee. That's how I feel.
Dave Chapelle.
That's my big brother. I love him to death. And he's like a guru. And sometimes I don't understand what he says until I go through a few things. And I'm like, I get it now. Yes. To me, he's a guru. He's my big bro. And yeah, I feel like I can talk to him about anything. And he's one of the few men that have cussed me out, and I still continue to talk to him because it's always out of love. And it's never like vicious or anything. It's just like, wake up, Tiffany, see this. And like, I see it, but I don't understand it. And then he gives me a few nuggets, and then I understand. He's the best.
I'll do two more. The Grammy Award.
Awesome. Crazy how that came about. And it was wild too, because first of all, I got nominated for a Grammy the year before for reading out loud, which was wild to me because it was a point in time I couldn't read at all. And now I'm getting nominated for reading out loud. What? It's awesome. And then the next year I win for my comedy special, Black Mitzvah, which was like mind-blowing to me because definitely didn't do no campaign to be like, hey, vote for me, vote for me. I don't know. That was wild. Like they actually liked it. I didn't think because of the anti-Semitism and everything that's going on, I wasn't sure if, people would hate it or love it or what. People liked it, actually. And, the thing I was most proud of is I wrote and sang my own version of Hava Nagila. And people liked it. They play it at bar mitzvahs now.
That's right.
It is so good, too. And I did it with Jess Blaze. Like, what?
Fantastic.
My friend Lee Miles, he helped produce it, too. And I'm just, like, so grateful. And I tore both my meniscus shooting that special. It's very painful. Should have got a OJI, on a job injury report or something. But I fell in the middle of shooting the first one. And then they had like an acupuncturist come and put all these needles in me and put some CBD stuff on my knees. And I went back out and shot the second one like hour and a half later and ended up staying on stage even longer. And my eyes were like all red. I was crying. It was good. And my editor for that, shout out editor, cut out the part where I fell. It cut out the part of me crying, but it was powerful. We got a Grammy.
Amazing. Ask you about one more comedian who I consider to be a genius, Cat Williams.
I love him. I don't know why he like to randomly say my name from time to time, but I do love him. I think he is a genius. He's kicked me out of comedy clubs. He kicked me out of the Hollywood Park Casino. I was too young to be in there. And I got put out. Every time I've ever had a conversation with him, it's been prolific. It's been educational and informative. And I think of him to be like, he be saying some wild shit sometimes. And I'll be like, why you got to throw my name in there? For what reason? Why? And my friends say, well, your name is powerful, Tiffany. If somebody says your name, it gets headlines and gets clicks because people love you and they're like, what are you saying about Tiffany? Why is Tiffany? What happened to Tiffany? And I'm like, I guess, but I wish he wouldn't do that. But when he does it, it is kind of good because it does make the right ripples, and I appreciate him.
Awesome.
And I appreciate him, but he is a genius. I just don't understand why he always got to say my name.
Your proudest moment in show business?
My proudest moment in show business. I haven't had it yet. I haven't had it. I've had a lot of moments to be proud of, but the proudest is I haven't had it yet. And I would say, when my mama told me she's proud of me, that made me proud. That made me really feel good. Being able to bring her to the premiere of Night School and have her sitting there watching the movie right next to me, and she's laughing and she's enjoying it. And then afterwards, she gave me the biggest kiss and was like, I'm proud of you. She didn't say her pussy makes stars like she did the first time I let her watch my comedy special. She didn't say, well, you better had or nothing like that. She said, I'm proud of you. And that was, it was worth it.
Wow.
It's worth it.
Your biggest disappointment in show business and how you used it to fuel yourself to the next level.
My biggest disappointment in show business is believing that just because somebody's black, they care and they're going to protect you. That was really disappointing. And thinking that, yeah. And they say, oh, skin folk, ain't you kin folk? And that's still disappointing.
How did you use it to fuel yourself?
Well, I cried about it, and then I turned around and said, I got to figure out people's intention. What is your intention? Why are you showing up here? What do you need from me? And actually listen to my instinct. My intuition is always right. So I learned how to do that. And
I'm going to tell you how I think you used it to fuel yourself.
how? I just started opening I started doing everything.
They Ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They ready.
You created a comedy series that impacted comedians' lives who just couldn't break through, and you gave them all the platform. So many great comics, not once, but twice. And
I would have did it a third time. I got to get another deal.
I think you will. I'm going to ask this last question. What advice do you have for the young artist who, if they haven't studied and done research on your life already, has gone through the most gut-wrenching, incredible, hardcore adversity that any human being could ever go through? They're a comedy person, wants to do it, they're out there, they're getting the fucking mental and physical shit kicked out of them, and to bypass that, to almost do a biopsy of that and figure out a way to cut through it, to deal with all the bullshit, and then to come through and be an animated star, a live-action television star, a live-action film star, a tremendous dramatic actress, somebody who hosts Saturday Night Live, wins the Grammy Award for a special, and is an entrepreneur. How do they have the kind of career you have? What do they have to do starting from the lowest possible point to get to where you are?
I would suggest you believe in yourself more than you believe in anything else in the world. Nobody else is going to believe in you unless you believe in you. Also, you have to love yourself, not be a lover of self, but have love for yourself, that you don't hurt yourself. And you will hurt yourself a few times. This is the nature of the beast. You're going to get hurt. But bounce back from that hurt. Know that hurt is not the end all. Just know that is just a casualty of war, and you can keep moving forward. Move forward. Do not quit. Write every day for at least 5 to 10 minutes or more. Get on stage as much as possible and develop the right relationships. Remember, how you treat people will always come back around. It's always going to come around, no matter who you encounter, no matter where you are, how you treat people, how you talk to them, what you say to them. It will always come back around. Nobody will ever remember what the fuck you said. They'll never remember what you said. But they always remember how you made them feel and how they walked away from the situation. What happened when they walked away. They always remember that. And so, Your reputation is important, but your interactions with other people, that's everything. And what I love is when I show up to meet new people, they're like, oh, your reputation precedes you. Like, you're way nicer than I thought you would be. You're way more kinder than, wow, you're not a stuck-up bitch like I thought you. And I'm like, well, no, that's never who I was. It's not who I can only pretend that when they say action. And then I can only pretend for 15 to 20 minutes max.
Tiffany Haddish, I'm very emotional right now because
I listened to you because you told me a lot of these things already. Remember?
yes, I do.
Yeah, I listened. I might not have applied it right away, but I listened. They've been applied.
Well, I'm not gonna take even a fraction of the credit for anything because we always want, if we have children, the weird part about life is, as parents, we always want our children to have no pain, don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend cheat on them, don't break a bone, don't lose in a business deal, don't get f***ed over. But if you have a child who hasn't gone through that, they're ordinary. And unbelievably, your journey, if you didn't go through that journey, you wouldn't be inspiring millions and millions of people. And it sucks that you had to be mentally and just physically discombobulated and dismantled to inspire millions and millions and millions of people who love you and have redirected their lives in a positive way because of you.
Well, I want to thank all my discombobulators and disorientators and my demantlers. Everyone that came in that up, I appreciate you. I appreciate you because I wouldn't be here today without you. And you can run and tell that. Run and tell that Tiffany Haddish thanked me because I f***ed her life up for a little bit, but she figured it out. And hey, that was my job. And hey, maybe we had a contract before I was even born. I had a contract with that person, and they were supposed to come and f*** my shit up a little bit. Supposed to knock me upside the head and get me like, wait, what? Oh, okay. I appreciate all of them. I have love for all of them. I just keep my distance from all of them.
Well, I have love and appreciation for you, and I will never keep my distance from you. Thank you so much for doing this.
I love you.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome.